everyone. Thanks so much for joining, and I appreciate you taking the time and actually making the decision to join me in this free webinar. So, are you guys ready to learn? I'm so excited because I know that this is a first step for you to be able to reach your goals in achieving what it is that you want to achieve in your workplace. So, let's start with no further ado. The first thing that I wanted you guys to do is actually to get your pen and paper. Grab your pen and paper and be ready to write. If you do not have that already, I'm going to give you a chance to grab your pen and paper, your notebooks, your iPads, anything that you could use to actually write the things and the points that I'm going to mention. It's very important for you to do that because you might forget what I'm going to say. And if you've already done that, you can write your comments and say yes. So I think everyone is ready. I think you guys, yes. Thank you so much for joining, and I appreciate it. If you guys have your pen and paper, then be ready to actually write something. So let me tell you about myself. My name is Ernie Prosorna. I'm a PMP certified project manager. I'm a certified Scrum Master, and I am a network marketing professional. I have 9+ years of professional experience. I'm a member of PMI NYC organization here in New York. I've traveled to 9 different countries. I am married, and I am a life coach. My goal is to educate and help people transform their lives physically, emotionally, and financially. So let's start. How to prosper at your workplace. This is the main question, and this is the main topic that we're going to discuss today, and I hope you're going to be able to get free nuggets that I'm going to share. First is to understand your key performance indicator if there is any in your organization. If there is none, then I guess it might be the time for you to start looking at what you needed to do to learn how you are getting rated and how you're getting measured in terms of your performance. Key performance indicator is basically what most of the companies use in order to give you a rating of how you're performing either quarterly or on a yearly basis. And normally in a typical huge organizations or big organizations, they're making use of this for them to be able to make it a rating for your bonuses and your salary increments. So if you haven't experienced salary increments, then maybe you're not really getting measured properly. The next thing is to set a goal for yourself, not just for your company, but for yourself. So I would like to help you understand your goal is normally not just centered in your company. Normally in your key performance indicator, you're actually being asked to what your target is, and you can write that down in your system. But setting a goal for yourself of what it is that you wanted to achieve in your company is very, very important. Now, again, I want to emphasize this. If you have a goal for yourself in your company, like reaching a particular position or being able to get a good bonus, a good salary, then it's best that you write down your goal. Because if you do not know your goal, then you would not be encouraged to actually do something to make the change, right? So I can give you a good example. One of the goals that I've set for myself is to be able to reach a position of becoming a project manager in my organization. And what did I have to get there? So I have made a few simple steps that allowed me to reach this goal. And by the way, because I've done these things that I'm going to show you today, I've reached the goal that I wanted in my company. Let's proceed. The next thing is ask the question, what do I need to do to get this promotion or position? And when you understand your goal, you should be able to understand how to get it. And the best thing that you can do is actually to book an appointment, a meeting with your direct reporting manager. Sit with him or her and ask them this question. What do I need to do to get this promotion or position? And believe me, you guys, this is not an easy question to ask your line manager, but this is the most appropriate thing for you to do. Be bold in asking this question, because most of the people who fail in their organizations and their companies don't actually ask this question. And if you don't, then you'd be left stuck in the same position without growth, because they would assume that you are happy with what it is that you are doing. And that is not a good thing. If they think of you as a person who is satisfied with what you're doing and no growth, then they would not look at you and tell you to get promoted until you have shown them that you desire and your purpose is for you to be able to excel in your work. Next thing is, if you're serious about growing your career, invest in your profession. One of the things that I have done for myself is I've actually invested in my profession. You being here and listening to this webinar is an investment itself because you've invested your time. You've taken the time to register and be part of this webinar, and that is the first step that you have done. And congratulations. I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you taking the first step to really making a change for yourself. Not many people would take an initiative to start learning. And the people who have learned, who have tried to learn, are those that would excel. Believe me, if you just do the same thing you've been doing before with no progress at all, you're going to be stuck for the same thing for the next years of your career without any growth. But if you do these things, the steps that I've taught you, you will experience the same breakthroughs that I have had. I've experienced promotion after promotion. I've experienced bonuses. Well, of course, it depends on the company that you're working in. But I would say that if you do this, it gives you a sense of fulfillment. You know, success is not just measured through financial improvement, but it can be measured through your happiness and your satisfaction in your job. So if you do these things, I'm pretty sure you're going to be reaching either financial improvement or career growth. You get that promotion in your position if you invest in your profession, meaning you have to get yourself trained. If you go to trainings and seminars such as this one, you would improve in your thinking, in your decision making, and that is a huge plus for you. Moving on, continue learning and be an expert at what you do. Become the go-to person. I noticed that because I learned and I invested for myself and on myself towards what I am doing in my profession, I have become the go-to person. Anything that they needed regarding the project, regarding the system that I am handling, I became the go-to person. I was the person they normally contact. And one of the things that I can tell you is that if you become the go-to person, you'd be the first person they could think of when they think about an application, a system, or a support. Or if you're working on a government office, they would think of you as a go-to person in terms of understanding the processes. And that is the key thing. That is the main thing. If they get to think of you as the go-to person, that means that you've positioned yourself to become the expert at what you do. And if you are the expert, that is a rarity. In your company, not everybody will be an expert like yourself. So moving forward, again, understanding your KPI, setting a goal, booking an appointment with your boss for your promotion or your next new position that you're asking for, investing in your profession, getting yourself into trainings and investing into getting to know and become the go-to person and becoming the expert at what you do. Next, dress professionally. Who among you goes to the office dressing like the normal person you are in your house? Well, one of the things that I've learned is if you dress professionally, if you go to your office dressed like a boss, it would allow people to look at you as a person of integrity and respect. You don't need to act like you're the boss, right? You just have to dress like one. When you're in meetings and you look like a very professional person, believe me, it has a huge change in the people's perception of you. Making this simple change is going to make a huge impact in your life. Next is politics will happen no matter where you are. Be professional at handling them. When I say politics, it's really related to your colleagues giving presents and doing some things, special things for your boss for them to be able to be recognized. You don't need to do that. You just have to show that you're an expert, you're the go-to person, you're a professional. Once they see that, once your manager sees that, they don't have a choice but to promote you. Do you understand this part? They don't have the choice but to promote you because you've already excelled to the level that they haven't seen in the other people around you. Because I've done these things, they were able to recognize my potential and they were able to recognize that I can do actually more than what I was allocated in the beginning. So you are going to be given more responsibilities in your office if you show them that you can be trusted in this aspect of your work. Lastly, pray for your company, your colleagues, and your boss. This is the most important thing. Well, as far as I know, your morning routine makes the rest of your day. So if you go to the office and as you reach your office, as you sit down to your desk, one main thing that I would ask you to do is to spend 2 minutes to 5 minutes praying for your colleagues, your company, and your boss. It might be difficult to do that if you don't have a great relationship with your colleagues or your boss, but I believe that it would give you a much more positive energy if you start your day with prayer. Praying for your workplace, your desk, your computer. And I've done this. changed my perspective. It changed my thinking for the rest of the day of what I was going to do. I prayed for my job. I prayed for my work. I prayed for my colleagues, my boss, and my company. And one thing that I noticed is that because I was doing this, I was having greater impact to other people. I was becoming more positive. I was becoming more engaging. And that allowed people to see me as a person of respect. If you start doing this, then it would make you the best person that you can be. Believe me, you're praying for them, but the changes is happening inside you too. Okay, so let's review how to prosper at your workplace. Number one, understanding your key performance indicator. If you don't know what a KPI is, you can search that in Google or try to understand what it is better. But just do something in order to understand how you're being measured in your company. Second is setting a goal for yourself, not just for your company, but for yourself. How you think yourself, how you expect yourself to grow. Third is ask a question, what do I need to do to get this promotion and position? What do you need to do to get promoted, to get that bonus, and to get that position? Fourth, if you're serious about growing your career, invest in your profession. Go to trainings. Spend time in getting yourself involved in your career. Continue learning and be an expert at what you do. Become the go-to person. That's the fifth one. Sixth is dress professionally. Dress like a boss. Politics will happen no matter where you are. Be professional at handling them. You don't have to be a political person. You just have to be professional at what you do. Lastly, pray for your company and colleagues and your boss. Isn't that easy? These things, if you do these steps, are quite easy for you to do. And I believe that it's not the hardest thing to do because you're making the changes for yourself. You cannot make the changes of the people around you. You cannot urge them to make the changes into understanding you, but you can change yourself. You can do something for yourself. So, to grow in your career takes time, effort, and an investment. This is the summary of everything that I taught you. It takes time, it takes effort, and it takes an investment for you to grow in your career. What are you doing today for you to grow in your career? Work hard at your job and you can make a living. Work hard on yourself and you can make a fortune. It's true both ways. If you work hard on yourself, you're going to be successful at what you do. All right? If you work for your job, you can make a living. And it works for everyone, either ways. Jim Rohn made it clear. Work hard at your job and you can make a living. But if you work hard on yourself, then you can make a fortune. I would agree for this, totally agree for this. And if you do agree for this, I would like for you to say, yes, I agree. Okay? Yes, thank you so much. I would appreciate if you write it down. Yes, I agree to this phrase. Yes, I agree to Jim Rohn. I will work hard for myself so that I can make a fortune. Okay, cool. So what is your ultimate goal? Is it career growth? Is it time freedom? Is it financial freedom? And is it doing your passion? I believe that all of these things are my ultimate goals. What about you? You can select 1, 2, or 3. So let me know in your comments. Tell me which one is your ultimate goal. Is it career growth? Write it down. Career growth, time freedom, financial freedom, doing your passion. 3 out of 4, 2 out of 3. So 2 out of 4. So write it down because I would love to know what you think is your career goal. It's not just for me, right? It's yours. It's your ultimate goal. And I believe that each of us has either 1, 2, 3, or 4 of these things that you want to be set as your ultimate goal. So question, how many do you think out of these 4 can your company give you? You can write that down in your comments, by the way. How many do you think out of these 4 can your company give you? Next question, given your current efforts, how long do you think it would take? How many years do you think you will be able to reach your goal? If this is your goal, if time freedom is your goal, how much time does it take for you to do that? It's really strange, but the question is true, right? If your goal is to be able to spend time with your family, your spouse, your children, if your goal is that, then how much time does it take for you to actually reach that? Becoming financially free without having to check on the cost of the price when you go to a mall, you can just buy it because you want it. That level of ultimate goal is something that you would wish to reach. Now, yes, you can prosper in your workplace, and that is absolutely true. Yes, you can prosper in your workplace. So you can do that by doing the stuff that I shared with you. And let me know in your comments if what was the result of this training for you? I would really, really want to know how it has affected you and how it has impacted you. And also let me know which one you can relate. All right? So we can move on to the bonus now. If you would like to stay, if you're happy with what I just shared to you, it's okay for you to leave. But right now, I'm going to discuss something related to the bonus. And this bonus is very important. I believe it has a relationship with your ultimate goal. So if you're still here watching and still continue to watch, I'm going to share to you what the bonus is. Okay? Are you ready? Okay. If you're ready, say yes. Yes, I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready. Cool, cool, cool. Thank you so much. All right. Moving on. The definition. Passive income is money earned with minimal activity through a variety of ventures which require little to daily efforts or upkeep in the individual's parts. I believe that passive income is something that generates money without you having to exert much effort. And this is actually the definition through the Wikipedia. Next is residual income is a measure of financial efficiency and can be used to rate anything that generates income. So have you been generating an income apart from what you're getting from your salary? Okay, so we'll see about that. First is high dividend stocks. This is one of the options that you will be able to generate a passive income for. Savings account. If you have savings account, then most probably you have already been you have already been earning in your savings account already. So if you have a look at that, I did watch mine. I could continue watching mine, and I noticed that I earned $1 over the course of 1 year. Next is corporate bonds. Most of the companies have that too. Next is passive real estate. If you have a real estate that you're earning, then you can put that. Rent your space. If you have a space that you're renting, if you have a house, if you're renting out your house, then that means it's a passive income too, because you're not really doing anything apart from letting them stay. Next is start a blog. If this is familiar for you, buy a blog. If you have already done that, then that's one way for you to earn an income. Online tasks. If you have anything, if you know how to generate websites, create websites, and spend some time about generating an income through websites and getting traffic out of it, then you can do that. And that's one way for you to earn a passive income. Now, for residual income, 2 to 5% in the bank, that's not bad. Nobody's going to give you that for free, right? Nobody's going to hand you money because they just felt like it. So if you do 1 or 2 or 3 things out of what I have mentioned in the passive income definition, then that's an opportunity for you to actually earn. So there are many other ways for you to earn, but this is one of the things that I've listed down, which is very, very common. Now, reality is reality. I've discussed to you on how you can grow in your company, right? Yes, you can prosper in your workplace, how you can grow in your workplace. That is true. But depending on your ultimate goal, here's a catch. Nobody is indispensable. One of the stories that I can tell you is that a couple of years back, one of my colleagues who has worked with the company for 20 years I've heard that he was terminated. And I was so shocked. I was surprised. Why? How come? A person who's worked with the company for 20 years is supposed to be untouchable, right? But unfortunately, he was terminated. And as it turns out, the direction of the company has become different. What they did is they've actually put down 2 people under him, directly reporting to him. At first, he was so happy because he had people working under him. The pressure has been different now, and he's got people working for him. So what happened was, because these 2 people has been exceeding their expectations, he was now on their way for their growth. They needed to be promoted because they were doing super well in what they were doing. So he was given 3 options. The first one is for him to resign willfully. If he was willing to resign to give way for these 2 people to be promoted. The second option was for him to get demoted. Rather than them reporting to him, he will now report to these people. And that, I don't think, is the best option for anyone. If it's you, would you choose that option? What do you think? And the third option was for him to be terminated. Now, he chose to be terminated. What was the reason why he chose that? Because in Dubai, there is a 3 months compensation if you get terminated. You will get 3 months salary if you get terminated. So that's what he chose, because the extra money for him was a benefit. Reality is reality. Yes, you can prosper in your workplace, and that is absolutely true. You do what I just shared for you. Again, nobody is indispensable. If you work with a company for so many years and suddenly your company went bankrupt and it closes down, you're going to have to establish yourself once again in the company that you're going to move into or you're going to start with. And how easy do you think that would be? How easy do you think it would be to land in another job with the same salary as the one that you used to have? Think about it. What's the trend? Telegrams and snail mail to Gmail and Facebook, everything now is online. Hotels to Airbnb. Monthly salary to bi-monthly salaries, well, it has changed already too. Paid vacation and full-time job to contract to hire. This is very interesting because here in New York, you will see jobs and companies posting availability for the positions, but they only put it under a 1-year contract. It could be some of them is renewable, but it's just normally just 1 year because they needed your service for just one single year. Monthly or weekly salaries to hourly pay. So here in New York, people get paid on an hourly basis. If you work for an hour, you get paid like $10 or less. They get hourly pay with no bonus and no health benefits because normally it's temporary if you work for an hourly pay. There's no bonus, no chance of getting promoted, and especially no health benefits. Okay, so let me just tell you my story. So my story is that I came from a very poor family. I would say poor because there were times when my dad had to pawn his watch just to be able to buy us some food and some allowance for school. So yes, I came from a poor family. We had to live with little to no means of what we have. Sardines was our best friend. We always have sardines every day, and we just take malunggay out of our backyard and put some more water in the food, in the sardines and malunggay, so that it could fit everyone. And this is the reality of my experience. So we suffered a lot. Because we were poor, I did not want to go back to that situation again. I prayed and asked God for help, and He did. He allowed us to graduate from our college, from our universities, and allowed us to be able to work in good companies. God has been gracious, but I did not want to go back to that position again. I did not want to be poor again and having no money to even buy for food. So that is my story. Because I did not want to do that, I've struggled. I've worked so hard to land a job, and I did. I landed a job in Dubai, and I worked even harder to build my own career. The stuff that I shared to you in the beginning are actually true stories. Those are the stuff that I did in order to get myself into the position that I left with. So just to give you a little background of myself, I am a certified project manager and a Scrum Master. I did that by going through trainings and getting myself certified by taking an exam. So as I told you, you invest in your career. And I spent around 7,000 dirhams, which is approximately around 75,000 pesos, just to be able to get to the position where I was able to reach. So it's true that you needed to invest money, and I did that. So that is my story. Because I did not want to go back to being poor and not having money, and I did not want my children to experience the same thing that we have experienced when we were young, I started our own business, because this is the common thing that you would do, right? You either start your own business or buy a property. We did both. But let me tell you a story about how we started our own business. I invested time by building that business. We had to come up with business plan, the product that we're going to sell, and the branding. I had to learn how to register the company and make it legal. So I had to go through the legal process, the BIR, the Philippine registration, and stuff like that for the tax and everything related to how we can build our business. Because if you're going to build a business, make it legal so that you don't get caught for tax evasion or anything like that, or you don't go to prison. So that's what we did. We invested time, we come up with a business plan, and it took so much time for us to be able to do it. It took us like almost a year to actually start building our own business. And we had to understand taxes and hire an accountant, because we are not accountants. But we had to become the people who works extra hard for us to be able to build our business. We had to renovate the office to promote good working environment. And we invested almost 300,000 pesos in 3 years. Actually, let's correct that. We actually invested around 376,000. Yeah, around something like that. We invested that for a course of 3 years. That was the way we have invested. So let me tell you about something. When you start your own business, you actually have to spend time to become the HR person, to become the PRO, because you have to manage all these transactions, right? To become the CEO and do all the management of the logistics and everything. And it was tough. So what happened in 3 years? After 3 years of the business that we have started, we had team issues. The people within our team were fighting with each other, and I had to become the human resource manager just to be able to fix the misunderstandings between our partners and the people that are working with us. The partners started to accept under the table jobs, which meant that the money isn't coming through the company, it just goes directly to their pockets. This is when we decide to close down the company. And you know what's the saddest part? It's not actually just closing down the company which we have built for 3 years. It's actually having to pay another 25,000 approximately. Well, I spoke to my husband and he said we actually spent around 30,000 pesos just to close down the company license and the account that we have, so that the BIR and all the legalities that we have started in the company would not chase us back when we go home. Isn't that sad? When I look at this story, I always felt like asking myself if we made the right decision, if we made the right choice. Because starting that business was a huge stall for us. We lost a lot of money because we invested and we started a business. This is the reality. 90% of startups failed. We've heard that phrase, but we've never really understood it until we faced that. The difficulty of having to become the jack of all trades, to fix issues, to start the company and start managing the services that you provide, managing the product that you're and the services that you provide. It was tough. And we have learned so much in that. So we learned from that experience. We knew then that if we start a business, we are going to have to be smarter than what we were before. We did not have to invest 400,000, but we did because we wanted the company to succeed. We learned from that experience. Now, if time is your greatest asset, how would you trade it to buy your future? This was a question that I've been asking myself, and I realized that time is the only expenditure that you cannot take back. If you spend time, you're not going to be able to take it back. If you spend money, you can take it back somehow. If you bought something and you didn't like it, you can get it back or get it replaced. But time is something that you are not going to be able to take back. So what I'm saying is, I know how you feel because I've felt the same way. I've worked with the companies and established myself so that I could reach my career goals, but then that will never be able to give me my official goal of time freedom and financial freedom. Even if I spent years working for that company, they're not going to be able to give me what I wanted in my time and financial freedom. It's the reality, right? It's never going to happen. Nobody is indispensable. The time that I've spent in my company is more than the time I would spend in my family if I continue doing the same thing I was doing before. I'm not going to be able to spend more time with my family because I'm going to be very focused in building my own career. And frankly, the cost of that time, the salary that they're giving me, is not going to be enough. But I found a solution. I found a way to start a business with less costly investment. We learned from the previous mistake, right? We did not have to spend 400,000 to start this business. Our time reciprocated our income, meaning the time that we spent is equivalent to the time or is equivalent to the income that we are getting. We compressed our time to generate returns. We did not have to spend 3 years to generate returns. We also invested in properties and we spent money in that. It's taking us years in order to complete that investment, but it's taking us almost 5 years to generate at least 20,000 out of one property. 20,000 is not enough for whatever you will need in the future. And again, if time is your greatest asset, this is not the best way to trade it. We do not have to worry about the company setups, the licensing, the HR, the branding, the research and development, and the customer support. If you want your customers to stay, then you need the customer support. This business allowed us to get all of these and allowed us to start a business the faster way. Well, it's faster and more reliable way. It allows us to do our passion. And most of all, it can be started part-time. Meaning, even if you're working right now, you can still start this business. So, are you in or are you out? My husband and I are looking for partners. These are the people that we are going to work with and we are going to partner with. We are going to help these people grow. We are going to help them earn. We are going to help them grow the same way we have grown. We are going to show them the better way in starting a business. If you have already been thinking about starting a business, then now's your chance. Get in touch with us. Get in touch with me. Are you the partner we are looking for? Are you teachable and are willing to learn? Are you ready to take charge of your life and start your own business? What did you like best or what struck you the most in what I have shared? Send me an email at motivatedbypassion101@gmail.com. Thank you for being a part of this training, and I hope you learned some nuggets that you could take away in your life. And lastly, if you are interested to start your own business and take control of your own life, send me a personal message at ZernieProSerna, CZERNEE. I hope you start making the decision to take control of your future. Thank you and have a good day. God bless you.